That's crazy. I took a picture right before this. Um, so I had a whole bunch of thoughts right before I started pressing record. Um, what was I about to say? I'm excited. I've never felt excited about being in front of a camera, and just a little bit about me, like truly. Just I'm gonna try to keep it really short. Watch how this turns into a 15-minute video. Anyway, what's the short version of my story? I don't really think I got a short version. I'm not gonna lie, y'all. Anyway, a little bit of the briefings then about me. Like I said, my name is Samantha. I am from Chicago. Um, I used to move around a lot, so we haven't emphasized that. Um, I'm an Aries. If y'all wanna do that, if y'all wanna play those games. Um, my favorite colors are olive green, maroon, navy blue, and lilac right now. I can rock any color I want, but those are my favorite colors. Um, and I got a little baby. Y'all will probably see him eventually. He's just not with me right now. He's with his daddy. Um, but I what I do, I work in finance right now. I'm actually a financial distributor. I'm becoming a financial advisor. I just got to earn a couple more licenses. Um, Currently in my waiting season on that one, but it's okay. Um, I'll go into that a little bit later as well. Probably another video though. I love spring and fall. I dislike winter and summer. They're too radical for me. They're too hot. I'll be out here, not like out here, but like I'll be looking cute. Just a couple. I'll probably show y'all a couple of fits that I've been having. So, um, just a little tidbit. But I yeah, I grew up in Chicago. To my mommy, the but I grew up in an environment that was like kind of kind of definitely conducive to how I grew up. But like it was really confusing at first. Like I grew up in like a single parent home, right? I grew up with like my grandma and stuff. I grew up with my aunt, and like a lot of other female members of my family, whatever. Um, I have a stepdad. I mean, yeah, I have a stepdad. I have a dad. Um, those relationships are definitely different now that I'm an adult with a child. Um, but no, I just was all over the place at one point. I was really good in school. I love dogs. R.I.P. Pumpkin. She passed away last February. Let me find a picture of her right here. Um, enter this MFA named Jackson. He's my mama's cat. I love him, but I don't like him. He's over there. I'm looking over there. Anyway, um, I grew up with a lot of limiting beliefs, a lot of uncertainties about life, a lot of people telling me how to live my life. And I just want to really highlight now in my life that I've grown up. Shut up. I've grown out of that. I won't say like grown out of it completely, but I've definitely grown out of it enough to reflect and be like, wow, that would have never came out of my mouth at this point in time. But I just want to say that I'm really proud of myself, which is something that I also didn't hear a whole lot. That I'm proud of myself and everything like that. I love myself. I know how hard you know how hard it was to get here. So much to the point that I'm okay with being on camera. I'm okay with hearing my voice. I'm okay with looking at myself, and I'm okay with like just how I look. Like the growth is crazy. Y'all don't know. The growth is crazy. But um not the point. It is the point, but it's not the point right now. Um, obviously I have my days and everything like that, but they're not as often as they used to be. They're not as often as I used to be. Um, I've also had my hair cut since last October, so October 2024. I have it cut. I need a haircut, truthfully, but I have it cut because all the things that I was going through in my life. I was ginger. I was a ginger for a little minute, 6 months. um, that on top of like a bunch of stuff that I was just dealing with at my in my life at that point, and my hair just was not one of the things that I was taking care of. And I was like, you know what, I shouldn't have to make my hair suffer for the lack of attention that I've been giving it. So I cut it. I was looking a little crazy. Then I got my first haircut by a barber, and then his third time coming around, he cut my hair. I was like, oh no, you're not doing this no more to my head. Um, then I met another barber. He was actually my Uber first. Uh, Shout out my boy Tay Cuts. Hopefully that brings him some freaking revenue. I mean, not revenue, but like traffic. He has some good clientele, but like you know, you can always help. Anyway, um, yeah, cut my hair for a reason. I cut my hair on top of life happening, but I really cut my hair to achieve a certain point in my life. So with the company that I work for, there's something called an RVP, um, a regional vice president of the company and everything like that. So you got to get to a certain standing and everything like that. And I was like, oh, well, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna cut my hair and I'm gonna keep it cut until I go RVP. So RVP is very possible. You can do it in as little as 6 to 9 months, actually. So it's really just to put my head down and just move forward kind of thing. But I'm really loving how like I look with my hair. Like you can't tell me nothing when I get a new haircut. You can't tell me zilch, right? Um, but no, that's why I have my haircut. I love the short look, truthfully, just because I just do. Like it's really growing on me. I got my little widow's peak. I need to go ahead and just need a haircut, y'all. Just need a haircut. Anyway, um, what I want to talk about is some of the happenings in my life lately. Like, if y'all aren't God heavy, I'm gonna pray for you. I hope you get there if you want to get there. Everybody's journey is different, but my relationship with God has been a wild one. I was a church kid. I went to church mostly up until I was like 8, something like that. I was even an usher. I don't know if I'm gonna find a picture. Maybe, maybe. Um. Anyway, church kid. I was forced to go to church every 2 Sundays or every other Sunday at 7 o'clock in the morning. I was like, oh my god, I don't like this. Obviously, as a little kid, you don't want to do that. What else? What else? Stopped going to church because some happenings in my life that just made me feel like I was like, I don't like what y'all telling me. Y'all messing up my relationship with who God is apparently. Da da da. Da. Anyway, fast forward. Um, I want to say around 15, 16. It's not that I got reintroduced to God. It was more so like the person that I valued at that time was talking about God fairly easy, and it made me very uncomfortable because I'm like, yeah, okay, sure, whatever. You can you can call it that. You can say this. You can say that. But I'm gonna believe in what I believe in. And I was kind of adamant about it for some years. Now, truthfully, um, I did try to like get back into my own version of what God was to me. It didn't work that well, truthfully. But anyway, um, when it came down to it, I want to say like what really got me back into it was him buying me a Bible in 2021, 2022. I think it was 2021. And his grandma actually, she used to read scriptures with him like once a week just to make sure that they was always in the book, whatever. I said, okay, cool. And then eventually he got me a Bible. We started reading together. Well, we meaning his grandma and I. Him and I hadn't really read the Bible together, which was a little crazy if you ask me. But anyway, we read the Bible. We read all the way through Proverbs. Proverbs, long, but it's okay. It's okay. Currently I'm in Psalms. I'm still learning how to read the Bible. Um, I don't. I feel like I don't know. I feel like I want to be one of those type of believers that know what scripture I'm quoting, where, what verse, what chapter, what happened, who, like everything like that. Like it's a process, but I'm slowly getting there. Slowly but surely, I'm getting there. Anyway, so that's how the relationship with God for me started over again, and I basically just started having my own belief systems and how God worked. And God is all knowing. He's all being. He is everything, right? He is everything to us. And I just wanted to kind of go down that route of, well, the God that I'm getting to know, I want to know God as my friend. Obviously, He's the Father and everything like that. But like, that's what I felt that I needed. I needed a friend because life is lonely enough when you uh when you just are destined for something. There's a pruning season that you have to go through, and He basically makes it only so that you can turn to Him. Like, yeah, that's what happens. That's what works for me. So, started reading my Bible on my own. Read. I have a little Bible app. I am still learning how to like pray and stuff like that. But nonetheless, that's how my relationship with God is going. But the way that God is rewarding me for that is making it so clear. God is making everything that I've ever asked for so clear. I've continuously asked for clarity, focus, guidance, um, just everything that I felt that I needed. Um, and I would ask him like, I know that life is more than what I see. So I learned how to stop worrying. Okay, okay. Here's a back. Here, I'm sorry, y'all. I told you it was gonna be a little long video. It turned into this. Um, Samantha used to be a chronic overthinker. Samantha used to be a constant over worrier. Samantha was a people pleaser. She ain't had no boundaries. She had very bad self image issues. She could not look at herself in the mirror for more than 10 seconds, maybe, right? Let alone show skin, let alone wear anything tight, wear sandals. I was a tomboy at heart, okay? I wore hoodies, jogging pants, and gym shoes. When my hair was long, all I wore was twists. Um, I didn't like being complimented. I didn't like certain features about my body. Um, I hated being subjected to only being pretty, so I became smart and pretty. I mean, I was always smart. That's the thing, though. Samantha was the type of person who couldn't hype herself up, who didn't feel good enough about herself to let other people tell her that she was a good enough person. I'm gonna be so honest with y'all. This healing journey has been crazy. Like the journey that I've been on has been. I really put my head down, like my head down for real, last May. And that has a whole backstory in its own, but I'm not gonna go there right now. But no, Samantha was just she was a nervous wreck, and there was a lot of things that made her not feel like she could trust herself. So when that process of everything started in May, and he was just like, yeah, I need to choose me. So the relationship I was in, I just didn't feel like I was being chosen. Um, yeah, so I decided to start choosing me. I didn't know how that was gonna look. It kind of started off kind of messy. I'm not gonna lie. But I want to say, come around August, I was faced with a situation that I should have listened to my intuition about. I should have listened to my gut, and I didn't. And then that really messed up a lot of things for me. Not necessarily messed up, but like it um it crushed the foundation of a friendship, a long term friendship that I had, as well as knocked my ego off on its ass. And then there was just a lot of situations where um I was like, is this really what I want to do? I have things that I want to build, but I'm letting myself get distracted. Like, it just wasn't a fun time. But this is how intentional God is in my life, that all the things that were happening were adding up. And I'm just like, okay, well, I'm facing this part of myself at the same time as I was basically facing a lot of shadows at the same time, right? Facing like childhood wounds and reality and the way people treat me. And I'm just like, ugh. Ugh. I didn't like how any of that was working, but I started making a decision. I started making multiple decisions, and I was like, okay, Samantha, you cannot do that no more. Don't do that no more. That was dumb. That was real dumb. And there was a point in time where somebody I was talking to, he was I guess he wasn't feeling me. We're gonna say it like that. We're gonna say it like that. If you ever see this, you know exactly who you are. Anyway, he wasn't feeling me, right? Whatever his reason was, um, something that he said was that he didn't find me attractive. Now, I'm not a shallow person when it comes down to that. Like I said, I had self-image issues after Wazoo. Okay. But when somebody tells me that I'm not attractive, that is one of the things I just refuse to believe. I am not dumb. I am not stupid. I am not ugly. I am not lame. I am not boring. I used to say I was boring. I know I'm funny. Okay. And never have I ever been so sure of myself in that moment. I was like, you know what? Why do I feel like I'm heartbroken over this? If he don't like me, that's his loss. Because what I know is I'm a great person. I'm a great person at heart. My intentions are always pure until it don't even get to that point usually. But until you get to the point with me that I have to treat you like a MF on the street, and even that MF is on the street, get basic respect. Either I talk to you or I don't. But I will make you feel like you never existed. See, but that's not the Samantha that I like. But that's the Samantha that happens sometimes, depending on the other party. Most of the time, I treat people with love and respect. I really feel like if you don't give me a reason not to act like this, I won't. I really only act off of provocation. But even then, I might just leave you alone. I might just treat you like you never existed in my life. So that's how that kind of worked. Anyway, he told me that, and I was like, he told me I was ugly. He told me he wasn't attracted to me. I'm like, you could not be attracted to me, but for you to say I'm not attractive, sorry, bro, I just don't believe that. So anyway, that's how the confidence started growing. I was like, okay, regardless, his loss. Anyway, um, yada yada yada. Started focusing on myself again. Yeah, because I started letting my heart get a little too loud in that interaction. Um, December had a moment. I just had a moment, and I started crying, praying on my knees. I was like, God, what did I do? Not like what did I do as in why have you forsaken me, but like what did I do as in why did I make that decision when, and it was crazy because that was a test. That was a test like that. I said something, got tested immediately. I was like, damn. And then I felt some sort of way about it after, of course. But anyway, with this? God, duh, right. So anyway, left that situation. I'm like, there are some things that are just simply more important than uh I learned to start prioritizing delayed gratification over instant gratification. Now that was when one of the pivotal points in my life really started happening, because I'm like, okay, well, I know that in the long run that's when things are really gonna matter, but the things that I do now are also what matter too. That doesn't mean just do willy nilly. Don't do willy nilly. Do things with a plan. Weigh your options, please, please, please. Think about things. Um, but um, started a personal journey of just clarity and everything like that, and limited distractions. But then distractions started coming back. Anyway, that was just God testing me again. That was also the devil trying me. I was like, sure. Anyway, I know whose I am and I know who I am, so that's what it is. Clock that T right there. Regardless. Um, since then, that was like January, February, March. Not gonna lie, I don't remember, but I know it was good. Like I know things were looking up and kind of, ebbs and flows of life, whatever. Um, but one of the things that I spoke to my coach was, I want to be so confident in myself that like nothing can shake me. Um, like I want to get so confident that when I walk in a room, I don't gotta say nothing for people to be like, "Oh, who's that?" I want to be so confident in myself that even if I don't know what I'm talking about, I know what I'm talking about, or at least it sounds like I do. I want to be so confident that and so sure of myself that who I am becoming is who I am, right? Um, and a lot of those prayers have really been answered. Like I've been praying for a large network of people. Like I've been praying to impact people, um, and everything like that. Like to know that who I am is what people adore, and maybe not even just adore, but admire, like respect. I just want to be respected for who I am, and I don't want to be like, um, I don't want somebody to tell me that this is wrong when it's just me. Like, if you don't like me, you ain't gotta like me. You can leave. If you don't like what you're hearing, you can leave. However, I'm gonna talk because why? Because I'm me and I got something to say. So, that being said, um, an example of how these things are happening. My name is getting known in rooms that I haven't stepped in yet. Even the ones that I have stepped in. I'm being respected. I'm being valued. I give value to the environments that I'm in, because usually things kind of go downhill when I leave. Truthfully, they either my bad y'all. They either upgrade or they downgrade. And most of the time, if it's people related, they downgrade. Well, anyway, an example of my presence being respected and everything like that was, I went to a Juneteenth event last week, y'all, because today's the 26th. Juneteenth is June 19th, whatever. It's the celebration of when Black people actually became free, according to the Emancipation Proclamation in 1865. Um, but what happened was, I went to this park. It was a bunch of people there. Now, my job requires me to, it's not even a job, but my position requires me to talk to people, educate them about their finances. That's what I do. And it's actually something that I enjoy because the people make it enjoyable. They always got stuff going on. Like, it looks so fun. And I just want to be a representative of how amazing it can be too. Because I know that I'm meant for like, I know that I'm meant for it. Like, it's freedom over here. But anyway, talk about that later. Um, no. um, walked in. Well, yeah, I walked the path to the like to all the vendors and stuff, and I had a cowboy hat on. I was looking cute. Had a cowboy hat on. Didn't know nobody there. Nobody. Um, I was told about this event actually. I thought I was gonna see them there, but they weren't even there. So anyway, um, people started walking up to me. I was like, oh shit, hi. It's like, what you doing in here? Do you have are you a vendor? What do you do over here? I was like, oh no, I'm not no vendor. I just walked up. I just came. Um, and also like because I know that I'm an attractive person, that's also something that people tend to talk to me about. That's okay. But they're just trying to get my attention, right? And I was okay with that because y'all saw something in me. Y'all saw something in me that y'all wanted to talk to. I said, okay, fine, cool. Um, so we had a conversation. I told them about what I do a little bit. I told them like, oh, if you're trying to learn some more, you can always call me. That's my number right there. Um, or a little less flirtatious sounding, but more professional, right? And then I just kept walking around. I was checking out all the tables. I was demonstrating interest. I'm like, ooh, y'all sell crystals, y'all sell necklaces, y'all sell da 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 da. I saw a henna booth and everything. This is her plug. She don't know me, but I'm a plugger anyway. Um, she was doing somebody henna. I would have talked to her had she not been focusing. But no, then made a friend. He works with one of the senators of Illinois. I was like, also we just walking up on people. We just saying, hey, you thought I was a vendor and you set the event up. How did you think that? You don't know me. I don't know you. But then we started trading hats and, and we was cool. We friends. I think his name is Jeremiah. Anyway, just kept walking around, talking to people about what I do, talking to people just in general, making friends, mingling with people with kids because it's real easy to. Except I didn't have my baby that time, so it wasn't as easy, but it was still easy. I know how to talk to people. I'm a very approachable person. I don't see why people are intimidated by me. I don't really think I'm an intimidating person, but I do think that like my energy could be intimidating because I don't know. Like if y'all could tell by just how much I'm talking, it's almost 30 minutes into this. Oh my god. Anyway, there are just some things about myself that like are unshakable. Right? So nonetheless, paying for a large network, got that. Started talking to the senator. I talked to the senator of this well, one of the senators of the state. Excuse me. Talked to his event organization team, his PR team. Started talking to people who own businesses. Started talking to people who just are people. I just was coming to talk to them. It's like what this position helped me with is developing a love for anything about somebody. Like, truthfully, I use my discernment. Practice that. That's a muscle that you gotta use. But no, practice my discernment. I'm like, okay, is this a person that I would talk to? Is this a person I would do life with? If this is the person I do life with, I'll probably do business with them. That's just kind of how I think about it. Not everybody I know that I'm a, talk to in that regard is somebody that I'm a like. But it's not always about that. It's just for how many people I can help. Anyway, God has just been on my side. He has literally given me an assignment. He has made that assignment extremely clear. He's like, stop looking for signs. They're right here. This is what I told you to do. Just do it. It's gonna work itself out. Why? Because I said so. Now God's because I said so is the only because I said so I'm gonna listen to. Y'all know when y'all parents be like, oh, because I said so. That's not a good enough reason. What do you mean I have to blindly trust you? It's not that I wouldn't want to blindly trust you, but you've given me reasons not to blindly trust you. Well, we're not gonna go down that road right now. But no, like I just wanna be sure in who I'm listening to. And the only part or entity that I know that I'm sure of is God. Like when you think about how intentional the things he does is in your life, every single test is just another part of your testimony. Every Obviously you have free will, right? Obviously you can make certain decisions. Like you could decide what you want to wear, but you still gotta rely that on what outside feel like. Like God is like, you don't need to be wearing that, so you're about to wear this instead. or like he'll diverge your options essentially. Like redirection, rejection is not. Wait, denial is. What am I trying to say? Delay is not denial, and rejection is redirection. My bad, y'all. I told y'all I be jumbling my words, but no, yeah, like God will just redirect me. God will just redirect y'all. Um, when I look back on my life, when I reflect, I'd be like, so that's why that happened. So that's what I got to learn from this. And because I learned it back then, my job, I'm only 23. I just turned 23 this year. A lot, it's a lot of silly stuff in here because I'm real funny. It's a lot of stuff in here, y'all. It's a lot of wisdom in here. I've been through enough things in my life. That's why I started this channel. But but that's why I feel like it's just time to spill it all out at this point. Like God said, educate the mass. Okay, we're gonna get there. We're gonna educate y'all. But why not be a person at the same time? I can teachers are people, right? Professors are people. People have feelings. People have experiences. Obviously, people have professions too, but that doesn't make them any less of a person. So, um, hopefully, there's always a lot to learn. There is always a lot to learn from other people in whatever sense. But I just wanted to make it known that that's what I'm here for, I guess. Um, I know that this is a really long video already, and y'all like, who she thinks she is making a 30-minute video as her second video? I'm Samantha, bro. God made me like this, and I've been saying that a lot lately too. I'm like, look, I don't know. God made me like this. So I think I'm gonna cut it short because I will ramble. Um, I'll talk to y'all.